This is Andrew Crellin from Sterling and Currency with a short video showing you how to identify and value a scarce Australian decimal coin. Well, there's been over 11 billion decimal coins produced in Australia since 1966. That means there are enough coins in circulation right now that every Australian man, woman and child could have 550 coins each. So if you don't have your 550, they must be out there somewhere. So there are so many of these coins around that there's only half a dozen decimal coins that are regularly worth more than their face value if they're in used condition. So there's some photographs of some there, and we'll get into each of those to help you work out what they are. Now, before we go any further, I want to say that there are things like error coins and other coins like double heads that are worth money. However, they're fairly specialised. So if you've got a coin that looks really badly made, like the 2-cent piece on the left-hand side there, or that split 50-cent piece, then it is definitely going to be worth money. Or if you've got a double-headed coin like that 5-cent piece there, or you have something else that looks really unusual, yes, it's going to be worth money, but the market for them is fairly specialised, and you probably want to be talking to a coin dealer such as ourselves for a coin like that. So what this video is about is showing you the 6 coins that you can have a good chance of finding in your change, or that are worth money. Okay, so the first coin is the 1966 round 50-cent pieces. It's highly unlikely that you'll find one of these in your change. Reason being is that although there were 36 million struck in 1966, the government melted 25 million of them down before they even left the mint. Now, a lot of people have hoarded them over the years because they're made of 80% silver, so it's unlikely you'll get one of those in your change. So although most were melted down, they're never used. The coin's not rare. Now, we sell them and other dealers sell them in bags of 50 or 100 or by the kilogram, and they trade for their metal value only. Now, there is a formula that you can use to calculate the value of an Australian 1966 50-cent piece. So what you want to do is get your calculator out and find out today's silver price, and then you can get clear. So there are many places that you can get the current metal price from the internet. The Perth Mint website, we'll put a link there, as it's easy enough to use as any. So if you get the per kilogram price of silver in Australian dollars, if you multiply that by 0.8 and then hit enter, then that'll give you what a 80% kilo of silver is worth. You divide that by 75.3 and you'll get the metal value of an Australian 1966 50-cent piece. So to give you an example, and these are just example figures, they've got no relationship to what the silver price will be today. If you get $700 for the silver price per kilogram in Australia, multiply that by 0.8, hit return or enter on your calculator, divide it again by 75.3, you'll end up with $7.44. Now, these round 50-cent pieces generally sell in bulk quantities for either side of that rate. So if you sell one, you might get $6, $7. You might get $7.50. If you want to buy them, then you might have to pay $7.50, $8, $8.50. Depends on what the silver price is on the day. Now this one's a bit of a kooky one, the 1966 wavy baseline 20-cent piece. Now, these coins were struck at the Royal Mint in London leading into 1966. And the way we can tell is that there's a difference in the shape of the two. Now, on the enlarged area on the right-hand side, the one up the top is the standard. That's what most or nearly all 20-cent pieces look like, where the baseline of the two is quite straight. So what we're doing is we're looking at this section here. Now, on the particular coins that were struck in London, we can see that they have a wave to it. So it's kind of it's a gentle wave, and that's why they're called the wavy baseline. So if you can see, there is a distinct difference. You wouldn't know unless you were looking for it, but there is a distinct difference between the standard 20-cent piece and the one with a wavy baseline. So that's the section to look for there. And they're generally worth upwards of $150 at the very least, and they're worth quite a few thousand in mint condition. Now the 2000 mule dollar. Okay, this is another kooky one. So in the world of coins, a mule isn't a cross between a horse and a donkey. It's a coin with an obverse and a reverse that weren't meant to be used together. Okay, to try and visually show you what we mean. On the left-hand side, you can see that we've got a standard Australian $1 coin, and in the middle we've got a 10-cent piece dated 1972, just to give you an illustration of the difference in size. So if you can see how the 10-cent piece fits neatly, it's quite a bit smaller or less in diameter than the $1 coin. You can see that the outline of the 10-cent piece lines up with the mule obverse on the right-hand side there. So a mule is the result of two dies that weren't meant to be used together. Now, why is that important? Is that a small number of Australian $1 coins were produced with a 10-cent obverse die. Now, this coin isn't incredibly rare. There are some collectors that have got dozens or allegedly even hundreds of them, but they are still worth looking for and they are still valuable. So if you have a $1 coin from the year 2000 and it has the kangaroos on the tail side, check the head side against the images here to see if it's a mule. Now again, if we look back here at this slide, what we're looking at is a smaller section within the head side where it's almost like there's two steps. Now often they're not struck where they're evenly centered. You might find one side's missing, but generally there'll be two steps, because the reason being is that they were struck with a 10-cent obverse die and they're smaller, the inside area was smaller than on what they should have been. So this is a standard $1 coin dated 2000. You can see that there's only one lip around the edge, whereas if we look at this $1 mule, you can see that not only is there the outer lip, but there's an inner lip as well, and that's from the 10-cent obverse die being used. So they're well worth looking for. Now the next one, which is pretty standard, is the 1968 2-cent piece. Now the reason for that is that when decimal currency was introduced back in '66, the mint had to make a whole heap of coins for the entire country to use all at once, which means that the first ones aren't always rare. Now those first coins, it took them a fair while to wear out, and that means that for a few years after 1966, the number of coins that were made dropped off quite considerably, which is why the 1968 2-cent piece is scarce. There weren't many struck. The 1972 5-cent piece, this is pretty straightforward, and that has the lowest mintage figure out of all the 5-cent pieces ever made, and they're worth money no matter what condition they're in. Not a huge dollars, but they're still worth looking for. Now there was a second error made at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra in 2000, the 50-cent piece with the Incuse Millennium flag. Okay, so if you look through your 50-cent pieces and you find one that's got the date 2000 on it, it's got a flag on the tail side, what you want to do is check to see if the middle of the flag is recessed or incuse, or whether it's the same height as the rest of the coin in that area is. So if your coin looks like that, that's standard, that's the normal type. If your coin has the middle section lowered, then it's what we call the incuse 50-cent piece, and they're worth at least, at the moment, they're worth at the very least $10, if not many hundreds, if it's in absolutely cracking condition. All right, so if you want to find out more about all of the decimal coins that you should be getting out of your change, two great resources that collectors use are the Renix Australian Coin and Banknote Values and the Pocket Guide to Australian Coins and Notes by Greg McDonald. We sell them on our website. You can get them from most coin dealers, bookstores, or even the post office, and you'll get change out of $40. Another great source to use is our ebook, which is the Layman's Guide to Coin Values. Now, it's got a lot of more information about each of the coins that you want to be looking for. It also covers everything from gold sovereigns to paper decimal notes. and you can get more information on it via our website, and the link is sterlingcurrency.com.au/layman's guide. Now, the good thing about the layman's guide relative to the two books that we mentioned earlier is that if you've got a bee in your bonnet and you want to sort your collection out right now and you don't want to drive to the bookshop or wait for the poster to turn up with one of the other two books, you can buy this product online, you download it on your computer, and you can start sorting them out straight away. If you want to learn more about those kooky error coins and what they're worth, this is the book to get. It's a specialist title, so you won't find it at the post office, or most bookstores won't have it, so you'll probably need to get in touch with a coin dealer like ourselves to get a copy, and you can buy it online. So we hope you found this video useful. If you have any coins that you're looking to sell, we'd love to hear from you.